Good evening, you're watching Just the News. I'm Amita Balachandra. We start off with news that's coming from Rajasthan's Udaipur. A youth was beheaded by two men in the Malda Street area of Udaipur, Rajasthan today. According to a report by NDTV, the murder is apparently linked to a series of inflammatory social media posts from two communities. Now, shops have been shut, the police are on alert, and Chief Minister of Rajasthan, Ashok Gehlot, has appealed for peace as well. Now, Mr. Gehlot has said, and I quote, strict action will be taken against all the criminals involved in this incident and the police will get to the bottom of it. I appeal to all parties to maintain peace, end quote. An update on the flood situation in Assam. The death toll has now gone up to 135. Silchar remains the worst affected because in the last 1 week it's been submerged. Efforts are underway to provide relief in those areas where the administration is yet to reach by airdropping packets with food, drinking water bottles, and other essentials by Indian Air Force helicopters. In fact, over 22 lakh people have so far been affected across 22 districts. And according to officials, the flooding situation, however, is slowly improving since rain has declined over the past week. Meanwhile, after being arrested for charges of allegedly hurting religious sentiments following a complaint by a social media user who referred to a tweet from 2018, Alt News co-founder Mohammed Zubair has been remanded to 4-day police custody. He was arrested yesterday. He's been booked under Section 153A, which is promoting enmity between different groups, and 295A, which is malicious acts intended to outrage religious feelings of the IPC. Now, the Editors Guild of India, the Press Club of India, and the DigiPub News India Foundation have condemned the arrest of Mr. Zubair. Incidentally, however, this comes in when India, along with G7 nations and 4 other countries, have signed a statement on Monday to protect freedom of speech called the 2022 Resilient Democracies Statement. Now, it called for guarding the freedom, independence, and diversity of civil society actors and protecting the freedom of expression and opinion online and offline. Now, the 12 nations and blocs resolved to foster open and pluralistic civic spaces and defend open and pluralistic debate as well. Apart from India, the signatories to the statement were Germany, Argentina, Canada, France, Indonesia, Italy, Japan, Senegal, South Africa, the United Kingdom, the United States of America, and the European Union. Moving on to other news. Now, a Delhi court has extended the judicial custody of AAP Minister Satyendar Jain for 2 more weeks in a case of alleged money laundering registered by the Enforcement Directorate. He's now been in custody since the 30th of May. Mr. Jain was earlier admitted to Lok Nayak Hospital after a dip in the oxygen level. Now, Delhi Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia is handling Mr. Jain's portfolios. Meanwhile, in Maharashtra's political crisis, there's a fresh update. Now, Maharashtra Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray has made a fresh appeal, an emotional appeal, in fact, to rebel MLAs to come for talks. Now, Uddhav Thackeray has said, and I quote, "Don't fall prey to anyone's missteps. The honor given to you by Shiv Sena cannot be found anywhere. If you come forward and speak, we will sort out the issues. As Shiv Sena party chief and family head, I'm still worried about you. Come here for a dialogue," end quote. Now, to this, rebel leader Eknath Shinde has stated that he will return to Mumbai soon and that his faction and take his faction, in fact, forward. He said, and I quote, "I have 50 people with me in Guwahati. They have come of their own accord and for Hindutva. We all will go to Mumbai soon," end quote. Now, if you want a detailed explainer on this particular topic and what really is going on in Maharashtra, do tell us whether you want an explainer on this or something else in the comment section below. Do like and share this video as well. Also in the news, 4 ONGC employees have died after a helicopter made an emergency landing around 11:45 a.m. today on Arabian Sea, 1 nautical mile away from ONGC offshore rig Sagar Kiran. Now, the helicopter was carrying 9 people on board, including 2 pilots. An inquiry now has been initiated. Moving on now to business news. The Indian rupee has closed to an all-time new low of 78.83 rupees against the US dollar today amid higher oil prices and concerns surrounding sustained inflation. Now, global oil benchmark Brent crude futures has advanced 1.89% to $117.26 per barrel. Also in the news, Mukesh Ambani has resigned from the board of his group's telecom arm, Reliance Jio, and handed over the company to elder son Akash Ambani. Now, in a statement, Reliance Jio Infocom, in a regulatory filing, in fact, said that the company's board at the meeting approved the appointment of Akash Ambani, non-executive director, as the chairman of the board of directors of the company. Now, among other appointments, Pankaj Mohan Pawar was appointed managing director of the company for 5 years, beginning the 27th of June. On to international news, an update on what's going on in Sri Lanka, which is seeing its worst ever economic crisis since independence. The situation has really not improved because Sri Lanka has now announced a 2-week halt on the sale of fuel for non-essential purposes. Fuel will only be supplied to essential services such as health sector, for transportation of food, agricultural sector, and hospitals. Also in the news now, former Russian president who is currently serving as a deputy chairman of the country's Security Council warned of World War III if any NATO country tries to encroach on the Crimean Peninsula. Now, speaking to a Russian news website, which was as reported by Reuters, he said, and I quote, "For us, Crimea is a part of Russia. Any attempt to encroach on Crimea is a declaration of war against our country," end quote. Now, he further said that if Finland and Sweden joined NATO, Russia would strengthen its borders and would be ready for retaliatory steps. Also, news coming in from the United States, 46 migrants were found dead inside an abandoned tractor trailer in San Antonio City of Texas in the United States. 16 more people, including 4 children, have been hospitalized. According to a report by the New York Times, they are believed to have crossed the border from Mexico to the United States. The United States Homeland Security investigations has started an inquiry. One piece of good news before we wrap things up here on this bulletin. This comes in from India. Avani Lekhara, who had won gold in Tokyo Paralympics, has become the world #1 in 2 parachuting categories. Now, she tweeted, and I quote, "Very happy to have achieved the world #1 ranking in both the R2 10-meter air rifle women's SH1 and R8 50-meter rifle 3 position women's events," end quote. That brings us to the end of this bulletin. Thank you so much for watching. Good night.